Hi, and welcome to the classes of Vedic astrology. So, currently in the classes, we are understanding about the karakas and the indications of a, of a particular planet, whether that particular planet is giving good effects, bad effects in an individual's life. So, that we are understanding by you know looking at by learning certain indications that is very common, that is very much visible, or that the individual can very well or very easily understand happening in his or her life, and certain karakas of the planets that we are also looking at. And in today's class, let's understand about the planet Mars, the Karaka and the indications of whether Mars is behaving well or behaving badly in an individual's horoscope. So, Mars is the Karaka of fire because it is the Karaka of Agni Tattva. So, the fire element in an individual's body, it again, Mars is the significator of it. So if a Mars is imbalanced, if a Mars is improper, if a Mars is not well placed, that particular fire in that individual's body will be too much, either too much or will be too less. If it is too much, it might make the person very aggressive, very violent. If it is not controlled, right, if it is an uncontrollable fire, all right, because fire always burns the surroundings, it burns to whatever object it catches itself on, and it also has the tendency ability to burn the surroundings. So here fire, it if you talk about, if you relate it with an individual's nature, if an individual has too much of fire and the individual is not able to control it, and that uncontrollable fire is normally seen from an unhealthy, unhelpful, or not unhelpful, a kind of an inauspicious Mars in an individual's Lagna chart. So that individual, because of this over aggressiveness, will cause harm to his or her own self and has the probability to cause harm to others also. So this is what is seen by the fire element, that Mars is a Karaka of. So in the kitchen, the gas stove, the gas burner, again Mars has a role to play in it. As per Vedic astrology, Mars is a Karaka of gas stove, gas burner, because all of these things are again related to the fire element. Any red colored things in the house, red colored clothes, is again Mars again is the Karaka of it. Red colored things, red colored clothes, even sun is also a Karaka of it, all right. Red colored light, if you have illuminated certain portion of your room with some red colored lights, might be some lamps, might be some kind of decorative lights or something. So those red colored lights is also seen from the aspect of Mars, because Mars has a role to play in it, because it is red colored, all right. Anything that is red colored, Mars will come into the picture. All the machines, motors in the house, in the apartment, Mars has a role to play in it, because Mars also indicates things which are mechanical in nature. Machines, motors, all of these things are mechanically engineered, if I want to use a particular term. If an individual has unhappy relationships with younger siblings, then also there is a probability that Mars is not well placed, not behaving well in that individual's Lagna chart. Kitchen, and even the kitchen knives in the kitchen, as it is quite sharp in nature, it acts as a weapon, because again weaponry is also comes under Mars, because Mars is a kind of a warrior, all right. So all of these things should be well placed, should not be scattered around, should not be poorly kept, all right. So all of these things should be kept in a neat and tidy place, and also safely kept, especially from the children. So all of these things, if you are aware of it, if you're aware about your own home utensils, which are quite dangerous in nature, if you place them well, if you place them in a safe place, if you keep them in a tidy way, in a proper way, in a clean, spick and span way, it will also improve the functionality, the functioning of planet Mars in that individual's horoscope. Aggressive nature, stubborn nature, cranky nature, all of these natures which are definitely not helpful are again seen from improper, inauspicious Maraka Mars. All right. But again, this aggressive nature, stubborn nature can also be Yogakarka when such nature they have a role to play in specific areas of life. Especially I'm talking about professional life. In specific profession where aggression is required, in certain situation where you need to be stubborn in order to get things done in a proper way, in a positive way, in a helpful, healthy way, so that your surroundings are also benefited from it. So all of these natures also plays a role in it. So whether you are an individual is able to utilize the nature in a positive way, negative way, this also depends on the natural placement of planet Mars in that individual's Lagna chart. So frequent anger issues, whenever there will be anger issues, it means that individual has difficulty in controlling his or her temperament. Even if that individual, whenever an individual utilizes his aggression, his stubbornness, that individual might be very aggressive, but he or she knows where he or she needs to use that aggression in, whether it is some sport activity where aggression is required. All right, sports you cannot play with a calm and composed physical working. You have to be aggressive, you have to be very much active. All right, so in specific professional areas, it might be police, it might be armed forces, where aggression is very important, positive, healthy, helpful aggression. So in all of these aspects, aggression is required, stubbornness is also required. So individuals who utilizes these aggressions in a helpful way, their Mars is definitely positive. It might be very intense, but it is well placed. All right. It is helping that individual in achieving a lot of success or in achieving a lot of good things in life through that particular nature of theirs. But when the same person will not be able to utilize such things in a proper way, in a helpful way, that individual will face it difficult to control his or her temperament. And the Yogakarka Mars, even though, as I was saying, a person might be aggressive, might be stubborn, a Yogakarka Mars will always, enable that individual to manage to control his aggression, temperament, stubbornness in a very proper way. He or she will know where to apply it and when not to apply it. But Maraka Mars, that individual will not be having awareness of that individual will naturally find it very difficult to control. That is when to show aggression, when not to show aggression. So during such times, a Maraka Mars, for a Maraka Mars, a person has the tendency to use his or her aggression in an improper way. All right, then only we say that that person has anger issues. So again, these are all indicated by a Maraka Mars. Whenever there are issues involved, problems involved, lot of unhelpful activities are caused because of aggression, stubbornness, and anger. These are all Maraka Mars. The muscle mass in a human's body, again, Mars is the Karaka of it. Bones in the body also, Mars also has a role to play in it. The RBC count of a human's blood, that is the red blood corpuscles, again Mars is a Karaka of it as per Vedic astrology. A kind of a habit or a kind of a hobby of driving speed cars, fast cars, Mars has a role to play in it. Now whether this particular hobby, this particular, you know, habit, or this particular, you can call it a kind of a activity, whether this will be helpful or not helpful, it depends on the maraka. It depends on whether the Mars is maraka or yoga karaka. If the Mars is yoga karaka, and if the person has such kind of habits, such kind of hobbies, then by profession that person can be a fast car driver, like all of those sporting activities like Formula One race championship, a lot of race championship, a lot of individuals they take part in it. Again, Mars here plays a role in it. So in such kind of areas, driving fast cars is looked at as a profession. But in normal scenarios, if you're driving fast cars, if you're driving your normal car in a normal road, at a very high and fast speed, that is never good. In no way, that is also illegal. All right. So here also Mars, if Mars is Maraka, then such individuals might have the uncontrollable habit to drive fast cars in normal scenarios. That can cause a lot of troubles even for their own self and for others who are using the road. So such kind of activities is definitely a no. This is also completely unethical, immoral, and also illegal. So if Mars is causing all of these activities in an unhelpful way, as per Vedic astrology, then Mars or the Vedic astrological remedies for Mars is highly suggested, so that that individual has an awareness of what is right, what is wrong. And even if that individual has that tendency to drive fast cars, that tendency will be slowly evaporating. That tendency will be slowly fading away, because that individual will realize that whatever aggression, whatever drive that he or she was utilizing in doing some unhelpful, unproductive, unhealthy activities, the same energy he or she will utilize in some productive work. Any issues, any litigations related with the land, Mars has a role to play in it. So if there are litigations involved, if there are frequent issues related to your land, you are not able to solve all these litigations issues, you're frequently getting trapped in all of these litigations issues related to the land, then definitely Mars, it is believed as per Vedic astrology that Mars has a role to play in it. But again, if you want to correctly analyze as per Vedic astrology, that is what can be the solution that an individual can do in order to overcome such problems, then a thorough, accurate, and a proper interpretation and analysis of the Lagna chart needs to be done. The south direction of your house is indicated by the planet Mars, or the planet Mars is the Karaka of the south direction of your house. So if you want to improve the functioning of planet Mars in your horoscope, if you want to receive the auspicious effects of planet Mars in your life, you have to make sure that the south direction of your house is always clean, proper, tidy, spick and span, and no unnecessary, poor construction is done in that particular area, and there are no bathroom, washroom in that particular area of your house, as per, you can say, Vastu Shastra, or as per Vedic astrology. And again, a very easy way to improve the auspiciousness, the power of Mars, and to convert even a Maraka Mars into a Yoga Karka Mars, the Bij mantra for Mars is always and highly auspicious. So chanting the Bij mantra for Mars for 108 times in one particular day, you can definitely improve the functioning of Mars in your life. And I have made a very, very detailed, complete video or a class with regards to the topic of Bij Mantra, or Bij Mantras for all the 9 planets. So this is what I wanted to discuss about planet Mars. What are the karakas of planet Mars and what are the indications of Mars, whether Mars is behaving well or poorly in an individual's horoscope. And in all of these points, that is whatever I had discussed in today's class, from these points only, you will be able to find out what can be the remedies done, home remedies or home tips that you can do in order to receive auspicious effects of the planet Mars, in order to receive blessings, in order to receive positive optimistic effects of planet Mars in your life. All right. So this was all about planet Mars. And in the next class, I will be discussing about the karakas and indications of whether the planet Mercury is behaving well or poorly in a particular horoscope. All right. Thank you, and I will see you in the next class.